It was a warm spring day when Sarah and her friends decided to take a trip to a secluded cabin in the woods for their spring break. Little did they know, this trip would turn into a nightmare they would never forget. As they settled into the cabin, they began to relax and enjoy their time away from the stresses of school. But as the sun began to set, a feeling of unease settled over the group. It was as if they were being watched, as if something sinister lurked in the shadows. That night, as they sat around the campfire, telling stories and laughing, a sudden chill ran down Sarah's spine. She looked around, her heart pounding in her chest. That's when she saw it, a figure standing in the darkness, its eyes glowing with malice. Before she could scream, the figure lunged at her, its hands reaching out to grab her. Sarah's friends tried to intervene, but they were no match for the killer that had invaded their peaceful retreat. One by one, Sarah's friends fell victim to the killer's wrath. The once joyful atmosphere of the cabin was now filled with terror and despair. Sarah knew they were being hunted, and she knew that they had to find a way to escape before it was too late. As the killer closed in on her, Sarah's survival instincts kicked in. She grabbed a nearby weapon and fought back with all her might. In a desperate struggle for her life, Sarah managed to overpower the killer and escape into the night. But the horror was far from over. As she ran through the dark woods, Sarah could hear the killer's footsteps behind her, its breath hot on her neck. She knew that she had to keep running, keep fighting, if she wanted to survive. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Sarah stumbled upon a road. She flagged down a passing car and begged for help. The driver, sensing her fear, quickly called the police. When the authorities arrived at the cabin, they found a scene of carnage. Sarah's friends lay dead, their bodies mutilated beyond recognition. The killer was nowhere to be found. As Sarah sat in the back of the police car, shaking with fear and disbelief, she knew that she would never be able to forget what had happened that spring break. The killer may have been gone, but the memories of that night would haunt her for the rest of her days. And as she looked back at the cabin one last time, she knew that she would never be able to escape the knowledge of what had transpired there. The horror of that spring break would forever be etched into her mind, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface of their seemingly innocent getaway.